Welcome to our parking lot animation project. This project was a very fun and interactive way to learn about HTML and CSS animation. We worked together to design and develop the parking lot animation, and we are extremely proud of what we have accomplished. To create this project, we created a basic HTML structure and then added CSS styles to animate the cars. We use CSS animations to create a variety of effects, such as cars driving in and out of the parking lot. We are excited to share our parking lot animation with you. We hope you enjoy watching it and that it inspires you to learn more about HTML and CSS animation. This is our presentation of the project, and here's the content that's located within each slide. The team will introduce themselves, then we will go into detail about the problems we faced when making this project and how we attacked them. Then I'll explain where our vision was at the beginning, and then we'll deep dive into the code behind our animation. Hi, I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with my voice and everything. My name is Tyson Lowe, and I was tasked with being the leader and tester of our parking lot project. As the leader and tester, I was tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that all team members are actively engaged in the project the entire time, while simultaneously maintaining a detailed record of any bugs or issues that arose during the process.
Hey, my name is Denis Sekharov. I was in charge of the design portion along with LF. The most important thing was finding a good-looking parking lot that we would be able to add on to. We went through a few different design choices before settling on the one chosen for this project. Um, we cleaned up the background and LF added onto it to make it really come together as a centerpiece, and the coders were able to work on it and make it into a smooth flowing animation.
Hello, my name is Ilaf Mustafa. I was in charge of the design aspect along with Dennis. My part was where I was in charge of the background to ensure that everything fits and looked cohesive in the parking lot. I built a flashing parking sign to bring everything together, and I coded it to keep it flashing smoothly with different colors. I built that I built on what Dennis had made, where I coded the background tree image to ensure it fit the road aspect. My main job was to ensure everything looked put together as a designer. Thank you.
Hello, I am Ritik and I was one of the coder alongside Steven. We created animations for the car in the parking lot and we also brainstormed how the cars will move and in what position they will be in the beginning and at the end. The whole team collaborated to bring the parking lot to the life.
Hello, my name is Steven, one of the coders of this project, alongside with my coding partner, Ritik. Our shared responsibility involves bringing the vehicles to life as they navigate the parking lot with seamless animation by learning how to use keyframes, transforms, and animation properties.
As you can imagine, this wasn't a smooth project at all. We faced some serious issues at first. One of the biggest challenges that we faced with this project was working with the images. We wanted to use images of cars that matched our parking lot background. And this was pretty difficult to search for. They were either too large or too complex to animate smoothly. Our second issue was figuring out the positioning of the vehicles in a realistic way. We wanted the cars to drive and park in a natural way. Animating the vehicles was also pretty challenging itself. We wanted the cars to move smoothly and realistically, but it was difficult to avoid glitches and unnatural movements. Finally, we wanted to make sure the movements were synchronized. Synchronizing the movements of the vehicles was arguably the most important part of the project. We wanted the cars to drive and park in a coordinated way, but as you can imagine, it was pretty difficult to get all of the timing just right. As I just mentioned, building a virtual parking lot webpage was pretty challenging, but we were determined to create a simple and visually appealing experience for the users. We used our skills and knowledge to create a realistic parking lot scene with moving cars using straightforward animations. We overcame the challenges we faced by focusing on the user experience and using our expertise to create a simple but effective solution. Here is a demo run of our project. The demo begins with a silver car backing out and leaving, followed by a gray car entering the parking. Then the blue car is the last to enter the parking lot. The demo then shows a motorcycle speeding out of the parking lot, followed by a yellow car exiting right after. A red car then comes in and parks in an empty spot. This demo demonstrates how a parking lot system can track and identify different vehicles in a parking lot, as well as their movements. This information can be used to develop a variety of features that make parking easier and more convenient for everyone. As you can see, we made sure the vehicles were sized proportionally to their parking spot so they didn't look too wide or big for anything. We made sure they were animated in CSS so they did what we wanted them to do, and we made sure it was synchronized so it looked natural.
So one of the first things to having a design is having a base to work off of. So having a background that the others could work off of and one we could all agree on was one of our first priorities to figure out. Once we had it though, it was easier for things to fall into place. Another design choice made was for the heading. Design-wise, it makes it stand out and attracts your attention before you start. You look down and you see the animation play. That's the point of the flashing lights. You see it, and then you look down as the animation starts. A crucial feature in the designing portion of the project was finding vehicles to use in the animation that would suit our needs. We found the best images we could use that would be clear to see and had a good looking image. We couldn't just have a plain parking lot with no background though, so we had to find something to fill the space. We were able to find a base image to use that could help cover the page and make it look less like a parking lot in the middle of nowhere and more of an out of the way rural type lot. We just had to make sure it fit the size of the page.
The CSS code styles a container element by giving it a background color, configuring it to use a flex box layout horizontally centering its content, and making it span the full width of its parent container. That made sure that the vehicles fit in perfectly and had enough space to rotate the parking. This CSS code style an element with a class parking sign by giving it absolute position at the top of the corner, making it full width of its container, and applying a colorful flashing gradient animation to the background. I made sure it flashes smoothly where I put 3-second timer for each color switch and for it to switch from the left to the right. This CSS code sets a background image for an HTML element named car1png and center it in both horizontally and vertically. The image is then scaled to cover the entire element, which has fixed width and height of 100 pixel by 100 pixel. Car 7 and Car 8 are styled differently. Car 7 is larger, positioned 170 pixel down and 235 pixel to the left, while Car 8 is smaller, rotated 90 degrees and positioned 380 pixel down and 115 pixel to the left. These styles would be applied to the respective HTML element with the matching IDs.
So within the realm of this HTML file, coders find themselves in a somewhat passive role, as this is expected to be mainly used by our designers. So here, we're offering a detailed glimpse into the coding process for our initial vehicle. The left image showcases the first 4 lines of code, which are the designer's domain. Meanwhile, our coding team concentrates on the last 2 lines of code, as well as creating the corresponding keyframes that are illustrated in the right image. Our initial step involved configuring the vehicle lane using the position attributes, specifically top 120 pixels. This setting established a fixed horizontal position for the vehicle. Next, we delve into the keyframe section to initiate the vehicle's animation. For this particular car, our goal is to have it enter the parking lot and park. To achieve this, we implemented a sequence of keyframes. We set the vehicle to move right and rotate by inputting left minus 200% and transform rotate 0 degrees at the 0% keyframe. This configuration places the vehicle off screen to the left with its front facing to the right. As the keyframe progresses to 100%, it pauses at the 32% mark and executes a rotation. Lastly, to guide the vehicle into its parking spot, we created another keyframe. At this point, we incorporate top 200 pixels in the 100% keyframe. This will let the vehicle descend into the designated parking location. With the keyframe established, our next focus turned into configuring the animation properties. In this phase, we carefully structured the animation sequence and fine-tuned the timing parameters. So in this case, we maintain the same attributes as the previous vehicle, but we want this one to enter the parking lot second. To accomplish this, we introduce a 10-second delay. Synchronization is a challenge we encounter when creating these animations, and we address this by employing the animation delay attribute, which effectively resolves the timing issue. Moreover, the forward attribute is really important in our scenario, as its absence will lead to cars not halting in their designated endpoint, but rather resetting to their starting position. The third vehicle to designate to be the last to enter the parking lot. However, our intention for this car is to park at the top of the parking area, in contrast to the previous two vehicles which parked at the bottom. To achieve this, we made an adjustment by setting the position attributes to bottom in the keyframe, ensuring the car parks at the uppermost position within the parking lot.
Here we have introduced a new vehicle by name Car 3. Initially, the vehicle is parked in its parking space and it will leave the parking lot during the animation. We have set the background property to car3.png so the car will appear on the web page, and we have set its height and width to 30% and 10% respectively, so it fits correctly in the parking space. Now let's talk about animation. We have used two keyframes to animate the movement of car. Keyframes car 3 down and rotate will move the car 3 out of the parking space and then rotate it towards the exit of the parking lot. And the second keyframe car 3 left takes the car's movement to the left, and which is towards the exit of the parking lot. Now let's take a quick look at the animation of car 4. The car 4 class is used to set up car 4, and it's the same. It's set up as background image and the dimensions are set so it will fit perfectly in the parking space. We have used keyframes for the car to move out of its parking space to a safe distance and then start rotating towards the exit. Since car 4 is initially parked at the bottom of the parking lot, we will rotate it negative 90 degrees instead of positive 90 degrees, so it will rotate left towards the exit of the parking lot. The parking lot in the animation, instead of car 6 set as a background image in CSS like other car, we have put car 6 image into HTML and ID'd it to CSS car 6 class. The car backs out of the parking lot by animations declaring car 6 down and rotate, and it rotates negative 90 degrees and it goes in linear direction towards the left to exit the parking lot. This project showcases how good HTML can be when combined with CSS for styling and animations. With the static images got brought to life, and it made for engaging user experience. It also shows how we can dynamically animate an object using CSS keyframes so it rotates and moves out of the web page without relying on external libraries or keyframes. This was the first team project of the class, and it was very good. With the help of tester, both designers and both coders, we were able to submit this dynamically animated web page of the parking lot only using HTML and CSS. Now talking about project's achievement and its impact, first of all, we all learned a lot more about HTML and CSS, and web pages like this are animated, visually appealing can significantly enhance user experience on website. Engaging animations in the web page will also make the website more memorable for user. Some of the future plans we have for this website is that we can add interactive elements such as clickable cars, so it will display the license plate, color, make, and model of the car. So it will be easier to identify the cars. We would also like to add sounds to individual cars based on when they move. We can also add dynamic user input, so a user can add or remove cars as they like from the parking lot. And then we would also like to add a sign to show number of free parking space, something similar to what we have at GSU's free parking space at the entrance of parking lot. And that will be all for our project 1 or from Team 7. Thank you.